changes your entire life. And especially right now with everything that's going on, like, okay, like a reality is there's a war. The war can spread from Israel, US, Iran. Like that war can actually spread. I mean, it's now including places like the borders with, I guess, India, because Pakistan, Afghanistan, they've kind of joined, and I think Cyprus. Like it's a huge area, like the whole Middle East, right? Like it's all now like a war zone. So it's likely going to spread. They're likely going to spread. So now, because all of this is happening, there might be a lockdown. Flights can move. Maybe there might be like alerts in different places. Because the next thing that they're gonna do is, if they want to stop people from crowding or like a gathering in groups, they'll just tell you like amber alerts, like, okay, don't be in big groups because big groups could be targeted, right? So those are things that can happen and escalate quite fast, quickly. And when that happens, I'm not saying that we should, like, it's going to happen, but I'm also seeing how things are progressing as well, because it's good to be alert on what's going on. And if that happens, we want to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, because we could end up in that pandemic situation where we're being locked up in different groups in different places. And when that happens, it can affect us. Spiritually, it affects us. Because even now, like, people losing their lives, like, it still affects us spiritually. Like, it's in a different country and different place. I mean, people that you don't even know, that you haven't met, but just the fact that that's happening, and we are hearing that, right? Like, you might try and say, okay, it doesn't affect me. Okay, get desensitized. But truly, honestly, like what is going on? That affects us all, whether we admit it or we don't. And sometimes we don't see the immediate effects, but it's affecting us gradually. So, and that's the point. That's the point with most of this stuff, right? It's like it traumatizes people, because, yeah, just hearing about that news, it's just like you can't imagine that, right? Because the next thing, it's like, okay, well, what if it was actually someone that you knew, or it's like, your own family that was there? So it's like, you just realize that humanity, when you look back in the Bible, like, yeah, our obedience, our obedience, our obedience is what God is asking us. Is asking us for obedience. So, with that being said, we just have to be obedient to God and not try control every single situation, because not everything is for us to control, including all the leaders. Like, they can't control every single situation and every outcome or predict the future, what's going to happen. And the media, again, is going to tell you stuff that also doesn't upset investors, because everything is now connected, right? So even now, when we say, like, okay, take care of yourself, there could be financial consequences to what's going on that will affect everyone in the world as this US Iran Israel war progresses, right? Like the Iran war, as long as it continues to progress economically, things are going to get more expensive, and gas prices are going to go up. Groceries will end up going up, right? Because the supply chain is going to be affected. And so, anticipating those things as potential consequences of what's going on, you don't want it to catch you by surprise. You want to be sharp. in the morning, you want to take care of yourself first. Then you can go and start looking at news and figuring out, okay, how do I plan? How do I get past this, right? Because this is going to affect us in one way or another. And the longer it goes, the more impactful that effect is going to be. So, yeah, when gas prices go up, the supply chain, transportation, food, all of that stuff, like gas is going to go up. And now the business has to increase the cost, right? Like for whoever's transporting the cost, and the cost is always going to get shifted to someone until it gets to us. And then also like with the news that you're watching, there's obviously like stock market, the effects for what's going to happen on the stock market. And right now there's a control on the media landscape because the stock market is also controlled by media and the news because they're following like it sort of like goes with the flow, right? What are people scared of? Like what are people thinking, or what are people going to act, and where are people's emotions? So the moment the media says something, it's going to impact how investors behave because they kind of start seeing what's coming. And if you pay attention, you'll see that the different statements that will be said one moment, another moment, different statement is said. So it's not by mistake, right? There's signals that are coming out, but you want to pay attention to some of the stuff that's going on because what is being reported, you don't want to be caught by surprise. That's at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. And you don't want to be, excuse me. And with that, you don't want to be caught by surprise. And you also want to make sure that you're doing what you can to protect yourself and protecting yourself and your family. And one of those things is, again, just making sure that you don't worry. Even if things don't work out the way that you wanted them to work out, don't worry about it, but protect yourself. And you can, yeah, obviously, like I'm not like a financial advisor here, but I'm just saying, just keep watch, take care of yourself, take care of your family first, and give your first fruits to God. That is your time, your energy, and then you can focus on everything else in the day. But just wanted to say this as it's coming to my mind right now as we're talking about this, just to at least make sure that I'm also giving some information on this stuff for people that are watching, for my viewers, and make sure that we have people that are also remaining anchored and not getting caught by surprise about what's going on.